I would like to have the energy that I had at 25. I would like to have a sex drive that I had at 25.
Entering my 50s, the things are different.
Those are the things that making us sick.
Even these guys that look ripped at the gym, that look like they're healthy, they're not.
Chronic doesn't mean forever.
I feel like a lot of people don't know that. So,
well, Sean, when we talk about sexual wellness, there's many different concerns that brings people here. I guess to start understanding how we can improve your sexuality in general, we need to understand exactly what do you feel that changes within your body and what do you disagree with?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think I'm someone that has been always aware from a physical standpoint of me being a former athlete, me playing in the NFL. There's always been an awareness because there's always been a doctor that would measure based off physical things that I've done. And I think once I was out of the game, I became intrigued with medicine and science to be able to keep that energy level with anything that I do, right? If it's to stimulate like caffeine to stay awake, I was always reading. And now I feel like entering my 50s, that things are different. I don't feel like I do have the same sexual drive that I once did. I feel like maybe my erections aren't what they used to be. And it could be in my head. And I think coming here and just being able to build a relationship with you, these are uncomfortable conversations that I think a lot of men out there have. I know that even within my colleagues, a lot of these guys, as smart as and as educated they are, they're still popping pills. They're still taking, the Viagra and the Cialis. And I'm not, I've done it. It's not been my thing. I've never been someone that has depended on pills. So I really wanted to come here and really find the solutions of what you guys offer, what you guys do, and honestly get educated on it.
So being quite educated and being very well aware of your body, I'm sure you're realizing that sexual decline is, somewhat inevitable that we go through in life, but it doesn't really have to be. Just like you don't have to be diabetic, and you don't have to have hypertension, and you don't have to have to be overweight, right? And you don't have to have very low energy or have poor sleeping habits. Those are the things that unfortunately we acquire as we go through life, but those are the things that making us sick. Not in a form of sickness that we're dying, but in a form of being disabled to be normal, to be what we used to be. And we say normal, we're all normal, but I would like to have the energy that I had at 25. Yeah. I would like to have a sex drive that I had at 25. I would like my blood sugar level and all my other vital signs to be the way they were at 25. Is there a way to have that? Is it possible? And I think it's a very legitimate question, and the answer is absolutely yes, but there's a lot of things that we've done to our bodies throughout the years that definitely left a big stain there.
Yes.
Right? And we need to figure out the way to remove that stain, number one, and to adjust and modify certain lifestyle changes that we need to make. And that's why I would like to usually start my conversation with the patients, not only understanding exactly what the goal is, the end result, but also what other symptoms or perhaps changes they've been experiencing that often have a direct or even indirect impact on the sexual wellness and sexual abilities, and that's how we can reverse things and stimulate.
Well, I think for me, it's always going to an expert. Per se, I take a lot of pride in being educated. I do rely a lot on the internet, but we all know that the internet is not always the solution. And I will I will seek out expertise in anything I do. And I think coming here and being able to have these conversations about just my path from even the age of 35 to where I'm at now has been, one, enthusiastic for the simple. I love the fact that you say it doesn't have to be. Nothing has to be. It doesn't have to be if you have the path and the answers where someone can say, these are the things that you have to be disciplined in. Do these things, be consistent with them, be responsible, and you can change. I'm to the point now where I'm getting lazy, even with my diet, right? It's work now. Right, I want to drink an old fashioned every night. Right, I want to have a croissant every morning. Right, and that's when you start to sink. And I know that just through talking to you, it's one thing to look at blood work. It's another thing to look at your hormone levels. But there's other things that you can do that you can give me that can give me the solution. But I have to put the work in. And I think a lot of times people don't want to put the work in. So the quick solution is the pills. And I know through my experience as an athlete, as a professional athlete, I took a lot of painkillers. I got to the point where I was taking a lot of Vicodin. I've had 7 surgeries, major surgeries. I would take a half of Vicodin before I would go into a PT just to get through the pain. And I became dependent on them. And me not, you saying, well, hey, some of these things could affect you later on in life. I feel like a lot of people don't know that. So to have that natural, holistic viewpoint and get that expertise for someone like yourself that you've done the work and you've looked at the science and you have the data and you have the testimonies to prove is extremely important to me. So I love the holistic way that you're doing things, but more importantly, I love that there's other things outside of just blood work that can help me move forward.
Well, I always said that chronic doesn't mean forever. And whether we applying this idea to chronic musculoskeletal problems, whether we're applying this idea to sexual wellness, or we're applying this idea to any other aging-related processes in our bodies, you said it perfectly. There's a lot of things that you can do for yourself. You just need guidance. And unfortunately, guidance is not relying on a pill. Giving you a prescription is not guidance. That's kind of an injustice in a big picture. Yes, sometimes it's essential, it's needed. But when we're talking about a regenerative processes, when we're talking about reversal of certain conditions in our bodies, we need to understand that once we know where it's coming from, there's a path, and that path has multiple stages. And going through those stages is the relationship, it's a partnership between a doctor and a patient. And it's our job to give you direction, take you by your hand, and help you go through those stages. It's also your job to be really conscious about the fact that it's in your hands, right? And just like with everything else, sexual wellness is the same thing. The discipline to detox your body, to allow your body to start healing, especially from the vascular perspective. The discipline of starting doing certain exercises that help you to train your pelvic floor, helping you to increase the blood circulation that can not only go through the sexual organs, but also to revascularize your body in general, give more oxygen to your body, to enhance your own production of testosterone and reduce that cortisol that most of us are so overwhelmed with, to have a discipline of improve your sleeping habits, your dietary habits. There's a lot of great food out there that can just by itself make a huge difference in our sexuality. We can lose weight with it. We can get more energy with it. We can be more physically active with it. And you're absolutely right. There's certain foods that we would like to have, but it's a discipline to limit yourself, at some point with certain activities that we know in advance will not give us a step forward. Will take us probably two steps back.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am excited at the fact that I've always said this, not only to myself and being educated and looking at education as an opportunity to better myself. I've always said this to any of my clients, any ball player that I know, any professional athlete that I know. If you're unsure of something, the best thing that you can do is have a trusted doctor. Go get your blood work. It can tell you so much about what's going on in your body. And so many of us don't do that. Even these guys that look ripped at the gym, that look like they're healthy, they're not, right? I know for a fact that I'm someone that cares about fitness. I care about the way that I look. Not for people, for myself. It's part of who I am. It's part of my brand. And being able to find a good doctor that, works through integrity, who cares about their client. It's not a quick fix. It's not a prescription. It's really about addressing real issues that are from a holistic standpoint and honestly giving me some homework, right? There's certain things that people have to do. I think that one of the things that I've conquered later in life was because I went to the doctor so much as a young kid getting injured, I hated the doctor. And what I'm finding is once you find a doctor that you trust, that is knowledgeable, that really listens to what you need versus telling you what you should do, it changes the relationship and it allows me to be educated and have a rapport that I feel comfortable to bring up things like this. I know for a fact that's me getting older. I know that if I am sexually active, that I spend a little bit more time with my partner talking about these things that were extremely uncomfortable in my 30s and 40s. Asking them, how are things on your end? Because I think manhood for the longest, especially in America, has been based off how good you are in bed, right? And I think that lives in every
Nothing wrong with that.
And I think that lives with every man's ego is how good they are in bed. So those things don't motivate me, but I want to know that I'm at the best that I possibly can. And I love that you have procedures and you have solutions that can help me be a better person and a healthier man moving forward. Thank you.